Are you a busy parent? Do you feel like you're being pulled in multiple directions all at once? Are you exhausted and overwhelmed? Meet my mom. Her name is Santi Tenikela. She's a pediatrician, expert in mind-body medicine, and a life coach. She can help you break free from guilt and overwhelm so that you can enjoy the life that you've worked so hard to create. She can also teach you how to support your family in a more holistic way.
Hello all, and welcome to episode 27. I want to start out today's podcast with a few shout outs. The first is to Cheryl33612, who says, Dr. Tenikela's recommendations on how to build ourselves up emotionally are so helpful for me and my family. Thank you. I'm also going to send a shout out to Just a Listener 24, who says, awesome podcast. Dr. Tenikela is wonderful. The podcast provides actionable tips and words of wisdom in bite-sized pieces. She has been very helpful for me and my family. I'm feeling so overwhelmed with joy. The third shout out is to JD Hot 29, who says, Dr. Tenikela is a true pro. She knows what she's talking about and is gracious and eloquent. This is a great resource for anyone looking to improve their stress and lifestyle. Thank you, JD. All right, so the first month of the year is almost over. And I have to ask, did you set a New Year's resolution for this year? Well, when I was younger, I used to set lots of New Year's resolutions, literally lists. The lists would have 20 or more resolutions on them, which, looking back, sounds a little ridiculous. And I'm sure some of you out there are like, oh my God, girl, what's going on? But call me an overachiever or an optimist or a little bit of both. Suffice it to say that midway through the year, I had magically forgotten most of them. It's also possible that I had completed the goal without actually remembering that I had set it as a resolution. Well, in any case, this year, I decided to keep the resolution simple. My resolution for this year is to bring more joy, connection, and kindness into my life. To expand on that, I want to bring more joy into my interactions with others and with day-to-day tasks, even the boring ones. I want to foster deeper connection with my family, friends, and myself. And that includes allowing my true, authentic self, with all my many colors, good and bad, to shine. And kindness. I do feel at baseline that I'm generally a kind person, but I've been known to be a little hard on myself at times. Does anybody else find that relatable? Well, this year I'm setting a resolution to be kinder to myself and to pay attention to my needs for self-care more than I have been in the past. These resolutions will be overflowing into my work at I Am Well MD as well. And this year, I'd like to focus on a very special population, and that's all of you mamas out there. As a pediatrician, I find that half my time is spent on the children and the other half is spent with their awesome mamas, whether it's patient education, reassurance, or just normalizing motherhood. And this is actually one of my favorite parts of being a pediatrician. So, today let's start with the very greenest of this group. Pregnant first-time mamas. First off, welcome to the club! It's a good club to be a part of. Pregnancy can be a super exciting time. You're ushering in a new phase of your life, and it gets even more exciting and more real when you start feeling your baby move and kick. It can also be incredibly stressful. There are lots of things that come with pregnancy, like morning sickness, fatigue, poor sleep, because, let's face it, the baby kicks more when you're ready to lay down. Needless to say, pregnancy can take a toll on the body. It can also take a toll on the mind. It's really easy for negative thoughts to creep in, like, am I really ready for this? What if I fail? What if something happens to the baby? What if I'm not good enough? I think these thoughts often get overlooked and so aren't discussed. Really, when you get pregnant and everybody's learning the news, everybody around you is usually congratulating you, and then they talk about the superficial stuff like making jokes about dirty diapers and poor sleep, followed by, you better get your sleep in now. Well, I remember all of those statements, especially the sleep one, because as much as I try to take people's advice in sleep, my first baby was a super active baby and was always kicking around in there. Seriously, you could literally see my belly move from across the room. I swear. It's a little disturbing, actually. I have videos to prove it. So if any of you guys want to see those videos, I'll try to dig one up for you and post it. Here's the other stuff you need to know. First time mamas, it's good to know what you'd like your birth plan to be, but please remember not to get too attached to it because things might need to change for your health and your baby's health. For some of you, this might be the first time where you feel like you've suddenly lost control over something you were hoping to have full type A control over. And that can be a really jarring experience. You literally want to do anything and everything for your child, and so that feeling of helplessness really takes on new meaning. Also, I'm just going to let you know that this feeling may recur again and again once your baby comes out. It may not be as jarring as childbirth, but whew, kids, even newborns, have a mind of their own and don't follow any rule book. So give yourself some grace and lean into this new learning curve instead of being fearful and resisting it. All right, so we're going to fast forward a little bit. Your baby's out, and now we have to learn to breastfeed. Almost every picture out there shows women who are happily breastfeeding and bonding with their babies. It just looks so natural and so simple, but let's be real here. They're all posed pictures. They don't show you the struggle that some moms and babies go through as they both learn this new dance. Moms are usually all fired up, motivated, and ready to go, thinking, yes, I was born to do this. And the baby sucks 3 times and then falls asleep. Or it's 2 minutes past feeding time and the baby's super frustrated, flailing their little heads back and forth and won't slow down to latch. Or you get to day 3 or 4 of breastfeeding, but nobody's told you about the irritation, the cracking, the potential bleeding, the pain, the tears, or the feelings of inadequacy because those dang pictures made you think that it's so easy for everyone else and you're the only one having trouble. No one tells you about the shame that you might carry thinking that you're the only one feeling this way. So, putting it out there, you're not the only one having trouble. I know because as a mom, I've been there myself. And as a pediatrician, I have seen many moms crying in the newborn nursery or in my office because they feel like they're less than. They feel like they're less of a woman for not being able to do this quote unquote right. Dude, you're not less than. You're human. Now, I don't want to discourage you from breastfeeding. Not at all. Generally speaking, breastfeeding is what's healthiest for your child. I'm saying all of this because when you don't realize that this might be a normal part of your path, that all those feelings of inadequacy or anxiety may rear their ugly head, not knowing this may actually cause you to throw in the towel and want to just give up. If you're having trouble with breastfeeding, talk to your lactation consultant or pediatrician. We're here for you. Also, please know that formula is not evil. If you're having a ton of trouble with breastfeeding and are in a pinch, it can be helpful to have formula on hand. Don't chastise yourself for supplementing with formula. I say this with a lot of love because guess what? Even though I'm a pediatrician and knew the health benefits of breast milk and was able to teach others how to successfully breastfeed, I myself faced a lot of difficulty with breastfeeding. When I had my first, I tried so hard to breastfeed and was barely able to meet his needs. In fact, I could only ever produce half of what he needed. I remember getting super frustrated, trying to pump and having zero privacy. Someone was always barging in. I remember a specific incident where I was in my fancy little rocker, right? Because we're all nesting and we get those fancy rockers because we think we're supposed to buy them. But I was in my rocker and I was attached to my pump, and someone who was trying to help me during the newborn period came into my bedroom and blurted out, "That's all you made?" And then abruptly left, which of course threw me into a spiral because it was one of the first times in my life that I couldn't power through something and come out successful on the other side. Looking back, I wish I could tell myself the thing that I tell new mothers now. You, meaning the whole package, are way more important than just your breast milk. Whatever milk you make, even if it's just a fraction of what your baby needs, is awesome. Supplement with formula the rest of the way to meet your baby's needs. Consider the breast milk to be a bonus if that helps. And if you can't make any breast milk at all, it's going to be okay. In the end, I would rather you not spend a ton of time feeling sad, anxious, resentful, or jealous about it. It's more important for you to spend this time bonding with your baby, taking care of yourself, and enjoying this time. These kiddos grow up really fast. There's so much more advice I can give you for this period of time in your life, but I'll leave you with one last thing. If others offer their help, accept it with gratitude. Let people hold your baby so you can get some rest. If they're willing to do chores like washing bottles, folding laundry, even vacuuming, take the help. Birthing a child takes a toll on the body, and having extra breaks here and there will allow for you to recover faster. I know you don't want to miss anything like a coo or a smile. I know you might be type A and your partner might not know how to put the diaper on the same way you do. Let them learn. Recognize that your partner may have felt a little left out of the whole growing a baby thing that you had going on, and that these little things allow them to build a relationship with this new tiny person in your lives. That's incredibly important for the whole family and will also help you to have the partnership you need to raise this child together. Lastly, if you feel like you have something to prove by doing everything like birthing a baby, breastfeeding, cleaning the house, managing the other children in the house, perhaps refusing help reflects more on your need to look a certain way as opposed to answering the more fundamental needs that you and your baby might present. Just putting that out there, gently, lovingly. Help is a great thing to have. All right, mamas, I'm going to wrap up here because there is so much more to come this year. For those of you who are interested in learning more about personal one-on-one coaching, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out through my website, iamwellmd.com, and clicking on the contact link at the top. The link is also in the show notes if you need it. Until next time, be well.
Hey, if you like what you're hearing, give this podcast a 5-star rating and share it with your friends and family. If you want to learn more about my mom and what she does, visit her at iamwellmd.com and subscribe to her email list. If you leave her a comment, you might just get a shout out in her next podcast episode. If you'd like coaching or support, she has programs available for you and your whole family. My mom is a great pediatrician and a great person, and I hope you like her podcast episodes. Have a great day. Goodbye.